What's up, everyone? Welcome back to What Would Zig Do Gaming. I'm your host, Zig, and I'm here with Paragon. So today, we're coming at you with a slightly different video. This is going to be one of those really annoying videos where the content creator acts like he knows a lot more than you, and is giving his really low-level advice to high-level people that are watching the video. It's exactly what we're going to do today. So we've got a couple tips and tricks today. Basically, high-level advice from a low-level player to make you better at the game. So we're going to go over a couple different things. I don't even remember how many points we're going to make, and I'm creating these on the fly, so there's no sense in putting a number on it. But anyway, we've got a couple tricks that we're going to go over. It's just basic stuff that will probably seem really stupid to a lot of people because they already know it, but it's great for new people to learn, and it's a good reminder for even people that are, in the gold or platinum leagues, or veterans that have just put a little bit of time in and are sometimes forget the basics. So, the very first point we're going to go over, since I am a jungler at heart, and jungle is the role that I play the absolute most, we're going to go over a jungle-specific trick that most junglers probably know, but new junglers especially will be able to get a lot of use out of. So, the first tip that we are going to start with here is taking the green buff. This is a jungler-centric trick, at least to start, or later in the game it'll apply to a few more characters, but in the start, this is the jungler-centric game, or a jungler-centric tip. Now, when you first get onto Monolith and you try to jungle, it's really terrifying, because the jungle camps will fuck your shit up. But it's entirely possible to take the green buff at level 1. Now, if you've watched some of my videos, you've seen this before. But I'm going to show you the concept behind doing this. So, here's the green buff. He looks terrifying. Look at him. He's like 50% bigger than me. So, we want this green buff because it gives us an awesome shield, right? So let's go in here and just attack. So normally, this would be you trying to take the green buff, or any jungle camp for that matter, and if I beat this thing, I'm going to be... And that's what happens. You get killed. And a lot of people still believe that this happens. That you can't take the green buff at level 1 because it'll fuck your shit up. Well, fear not, I am here to tell you that there is another way. So, green buff is totally doable. Hi, Rampage. Thanks for screwing up my jungle clear in the beginning. Green buff is totally doable at level 1. Here's what you need. First, you need a little bit of sustain. So in Seraph's case, I have the Vampire Elixir. With everybody else, you're probably going to have a Siphon, or you're going to have a Scythe because you have a character with built-in sustain. But the key to it is to not stand still. And you can actually dodge those autos. See? There's one auto dodged. And you see green buff is almost down already. That actually might be one of my best green buff takes ever. And now you've got the green buff shield. And you're level 1. And with that, you can do a whole host of things. You can go hit a lane and help. You can what I like to do actually is use it to help me clear the rest of the jungle. Well, actually normally I'd already have this camp dead, but see, and then that goes away and you keep going. So, that's level 1 green buff mechanics. So the next thing we're going to go over here is timers. Paragon, especially Monolith, runs on timers, and it's really important to know these timers and to get them down and understand them so that you can be on top of your game at all times on this map. You can really put your game above and beyond if you know the exact moment that things are going to be happening. This means river buffs, raptors, Amberlink, everything like that. So we're going to go over the timers right now. Alright, so forgive the less than professional appearance of this, but I am not great when it comes to media matters. But this is a map of Monolith taken from PCinvasion.com, which I think it was originally an image that appeared on one of Epic's articles. But anyway, it has all the information that we need. So we're talking about timers right now. The very first one you're going to run into, as most players, are the river buffs. So the river buffs spawn on the river, just outside the mid lane, just past the fog walls. Now they start spawning at the 3-minute mark. So at 3 minutes on the dot, a river buff will appear in one of these areas. It is very important to control the river buffs. They give you so much power. They give you a great amount of mana regen, 35 regen over 5 seconds. You get 175 mana. It's a really big deal to control the river buffs. Ideally, what you want to do as the mid laner is you want to coordinate with your jungler to see which one they're going to be taking. Now, by default, usually the jungler is going to clear the strong side jungle and try to take the right river buff at 3 minutes. So mid laners usually want to take the left one, and then your team controls both of them. Now that's, at the first 3-minute spawn. After that, it gets a little hectic because it depends on how the match is going. But that's the general idea, is that you want to be working with your jungler or somebody else that's free to take them. So the river buffs have a variety of different effects. The red one gives you 25% more ability damage. The black buff gives you a damage over time effect on your basic attacks. The blue increases your movement speed, and the purple, you enter the shadow plane. Now, all of these buffs last between 20 and 30 seconds. They spawn every odd minute. So at 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, they are going to be spawning, and you want to be in place for them. So it's important to keep an eye on the timer at the top of your screen, and if there's an odd minute coming up, you want to take a river buff. This brings me to the even minutes. The Amber Link. If those of you that played on Legacy, you'll remember the Harvesters. Well, the Amber Link is what replaced the Harvesters. They fill automatically as the jungler clears the jungle on the strong and weak side. Half of the CXP that comes from a jungle camp goes into the Amber Link. At 2 minutes, at the 2-minute mark at the beginning of the match, and every 2 minutes thereafter, all of the CXP that is inside of the Amber Link gets distributed to the entire team. That adds up really quick, and that's why your jungler should always be on top of the camps, and why you should be wary of jungle invades, because they can empty your Amber Link. And whenever you're staging a jungle invade, you want to try and do it closer to the even minute mark, because theoretically it'll be closer to full and you can take more from it. So at 2 minutes, the Amber Link empties, and every 2 minutes thereafter, so 2, 4, 6, 8, so on and so forth. So you're going to see the pattern. At 2 minutes, the Amber Link empties. At 3 minutes, the river buff spawn, and then every minute thereafter, something on the map is happening. So at 4 minutes, the Amber Link's empty again. At 5 minutes, the river buff spawn. At 6 minutes, the Amber Link's empty. 7 minutes, river buff spawn. You see that it's a great way to keep busy if you're not sure what's going on. If you're not sure what you're supposed to be doing, pay attention to your timer and see if there's something that you can be doing. Now, one of the most important objectives on the map is the Raptors. You see, I had to kind of shoehorn them in here because they weren't on the map, but they're going to spawn at the exact spot across from the Orb Prime. So the Orb Prime, depending if you're on light or dawn side or dusk side, you're going to be closer to Orb Prime or you're going to be closer to Raptors. Now, the Raptors are a very important objective, and they're one that often gets overlooked, especially in the low MMR leagues. But the real key to a team getting really far ahead, if you ever watch the any of the professional tournaments, what was at one point Agora's Rising, now the Paragon Competitive League, the PCLs, you'll notice Raptors command an enormous amount of priority, because each Raptor gives you 1 CXP. It's a great way to feed your carries and get them really snowballing. The first one spawns at 4 minutes. So at exactly 4 minutes, we have 1 Raptor. Every 4 minutes after that, we get another Raptor up to a max of 3. So at 12 minutes, the camp is full with 3 Raptors. And you'll notice at that point, professional teams start looking to take them. The way it's been going is some of them really pressure it at 8 minutes. Some of them wait until the 12 or 14 minute mark. The idea is that you want to get it done before 16, because at 16, another one would spawn. If all 3 are already there, then you miss the spawn time, and it's a wasted CXP that'll never come back. So, odd minute, river buff. Even minute, Amber Link, every 4 minutes, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, so on and so forth, Raptors. Incredibly important to keep track of. Now, two other timers that are going to be of note. The green buff spawns at a minute 30. So jungle camps start spawning at the minute 20 mark. So that gives you about enough time to clear one camp before you go and take the green buff. Green buff then respawns 3 minutes after it's been taken. So that one is variable. There's not a great way to track it other than keeping track of when you took it. Now, with the most recent update, it's easier to keep track of. Even the enemy green buff you can keep track of a little bit easier. But it's still, you're going to have to kind of gauge it a little bit and watch the circle, because now that the minimap is updating correctly, you can kind of gauge it from there. But it's 3 minutes after you take it. But of course, we all know the green buff is an incredibly important objective, especially for the jungler. Gives you that all-important shield. Just realize that this is horribly spelled. Gives you a very important shield that has a really big damage explosion whenever it expires. It's a game changer early game. So, spawns at minute 30, respawns every 3 minutes thereafter. The final one is the Prime Guardian. Now, it spawns at 10 minutes, which is way too early to take it by most standards. Now, if you watch some of the tournaments, you'll see it get taken at the 15 to 20 minute mark, but this isn't something that is typical. Like, that usually happens if one team is doing exceedingly well, or if they've practiced a suitable strategy to make sure to take it that early. But it spawns at the 10-minute mark. After it's taken, it's 8 minutes after that. Now, that one's a little bit more difficult to keep track of, but it's still something to keep in the back of your mind, because we've all been there. We're all, the game is dragging on. Both teams are evenly matched. We're trying to figure out how to get the upper leg on the other team, and everybody keeps checking Prime, and we keep dropping wards on Prime. If you just keep an eye out for when it gets taken, you can track it by the clock. So, timers, the most important ones that you want to keep in mind. Amber Link, 2 minutes. If you want to try and do jungle invade, you want to try and time it around the Amber Link being emptied. River buff is probably one of the most important objectives on the map, and knowing the river buff timer is going to be the key to controlling them. So, every odd minute. Starts at 3, and every 2 minutes thereafter. So 3, 5, 7, 9. That's when the river buffs are coming up. You want to be there. You want to capture them. And Raptors starts spawning at 4 minutes, and every 4 minutes thereafter. So that's timers. So we're going to go on to the next point. So the next point we're going to talk about is frame cancels. So frame cancels are an incredible way to set up kills and to deal more damage whenever you are trying to burst down a target. Now, if you're a fan of fighting games, you understand the basic concept behind a frame cancel. But at their core, it's essentially just making sure that you are being absolutely optimal with your time whenever it comes to attack animations and your skills. The king of the frame cancel is Crunch, just because he was built with the idea of frame cancels in mind. Like, that is the mechanic behind the character. I don't have any gameplay of Crunch because I don't particularly play him, but we're going to go in and take a look at how frame cancels work and show a few examples of what they can do. So here's an example of a frame cancel. So here we're showing basic attack animations and then waiting for the cooldowns to be done on your basic attack before using an ability. It's not optimal, but a lot of new players think that's how it has to be done. So check out a frame cancel here. So you see, we did the basic attack, we frame canceled into the ability, and then we did the next basic attack. And what this allows you to do, watch the timers here. So, got your basic attack. So before that cooldown is even done, you launch your ability, and then you launch your next basic attack. And what this allows you to do is put out damage faster than just waiting for your cooldowns. So here's an example of a frame cancel in play. So here we are, we're just playing with the cooldown. We're just waiting for the cooldowns to be done before we do anything. So it was a decent clear, but here we'll show a frame cancel. Much faster, and now it's already done. Frame canceling is a way to really pump out a lot of damage, and it works with anybody that has a quick cast ability. So here we're showing Twin Blast. You can just keep autoing, and then whenever you get the chance, use the rapid fire, and he'll put out more damage. Now, a lot of characters have access to frame cancels. You just kind of have to play with it and see where it fits into your own, into your flow. And it's not just quick cast abilities. You can use it with abilities that require a confirmation. You just have to be a little bit quicker on it. So here's an example of doing it with Severog. So as you can see, frame cancels allow you to put out a lot more damage by sort of, it's not really abusing the mechanics, but sort of playing in between the rules where you're usually supposed to wait for your basic attack to completely come off cooldown and the animation to finish up before doing anything else. A frame cancel allows you to make use of the frames in between your basic attacks to put out more damage. It is the key to burst characters like Twin Blast, Sereth. Grux actually, also makes a really good use of it. So it's important to get out there and try these out and see how it works for you and your play style, and see if you can where you can fit them in with characters, because a lot of characters have them. You just got to get out there and experiment a little bit. Okay, so the next point that we're going to talk about is setting lanes. Now, we've all been in this situation. We go into a lane, we beat up on the minions, and by the time we get down to the tower, our minion wave is pretty weak because there's been a lot of back and forth between the minions, so we don't have the power to take the tower. Well, there is a concept in MOBAs in general called setting lanes, and it's something that you really need to know how to do whenever you're trying to take a tower and take objectives. So in this instance here, we're plowing through the minions. You see, we only have 4 minions to go onto the tower. We don't even have a siege minion with us. So we go onto the tower, we go straight for the tower's health, and we get absolutely dick done. There's another way to do this, and it's called setting the lane. So what setting a lane is it's nothing more than whenever 2 waves of minions meet, 2 full waves of minions meet, normally they pretty much stalemate. However, if you kill just the ranged minion in the enemy wave, they lose a lot of their damage potential, because the ranged minions in the waves do a lot more damage than the melee ones. So the melee ones are there to tank and soak up the damage, while the ranged ones do the most damage. Kind of like the normal give and take of a team composition. You have your front line, and then you have your back line with your marauders dealing a lot of damage. So what you do is you just kill the ranged minions. And here's an example. So here we are at about the 19-minute mark. As you can see here, we've got 2 full waves of minions. So I come in and I clear out just the ranged minions, and then I go fuck off for a bit. Now here's the cool part. What's going to happen is these minions are going to sit here. Their minions are going to have a harder time taking my minions down. So here comes the second wave, so it's already starting to stack up. And they did not clear it out. So Howitzer runs away, Gideon runs away. Granted, this is bots, but this is how it works, and this is how it can work in a PvP match. So you see, now we've got a siege minion and 2 ranged minions stacked up here. So then they go in on the tower. Because we have the superior firepower with all those ranged minions, we take out the minions really fast. And wave number 3 is on the way. So by the time our last melee minions get there, the new wave is there, and now we have 3 ranged minions and a siege minion. And they go onto the tower. And this is a tier 2 tower, so more hit points. They go in here, and they just lay waste to the tower. So you see, in a matter of 1 minute, we set the lane at 19 minutes. At 20 minutes, the minions took a tower. This can really snowball and cause problems for the enemy team. And it's absolutely something that you should learn how to do. It will and does win games all the time. There is a reason that the minions are dubbed Winions. Okay, so that's going to bring this video to a close. So I hope that these tips prove to be useful to you. I hope that you enjoyed learning about them and seeing some of the tips and tricks that can be picked up through a lot of time in the game, a lot more time in the game than I probably should have. Do be sure to try them out and see how they work out for you. A lot of them are really important for whenever it comes to getting better at the game. The timers will make you more aware of the game, and by having more awareness in the game, you're going to just you'll definitely notice an increase in your capabilities in the game whenever you're more aware of the map, whenever you're aware of the timer, whenever you're aware of the river buffs and the raptors coming up and everything like that. It'll make you a better player. I mean, I'm not telling you this from the point of view of a professional player or a professional gamer. I'm telling you this from the point of view of somebody that does these things just because I've seen them work. They were taught to me by people that were much better than me, and now I'm passing my knowledge on because it's just what we do to become a better community. So, that's going to bring this to a close. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by, everybody. Do make sure to hit the subscribe button up there in the top right-hand corner. Check out more videos on the playlist. Let me know if you want to see more tips and tricks videos. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of secrets, but what I do know, I would be happy to share. If you have suggestions for what you would like to see covered and everything, go ahead and let me know. And if I can't give you an answer, I can certainly point you in the right direction. It's just important that we grow as a community and just become better so that we can all just have a better time in solo queue, right? All right, so I'll see you guys later. Do make sure to come back next time to see what would they do in Paragon.